Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the mind of an Terry's Moon. Flight boss, Archangel Uriel. And Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, let's just talk about astrology real quick because, I done had a few conversations with a few people. Um, and then this is for people who just getting it because I'm not saying the people I was talking to was even that well versed in astrology, but this video goes for everybody because just having that conversation, you know what I'm saying, pierce through where I can see from a broad perspective how this energetic role can play out through a lot of different people, even astrologers that's well versed. So I'm here to help everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I even help myself and I get helped by the universe when I even have conversations and things of that nature. So, one thing I'm starting to realize is we're tying astrology to society too much. Well, I don't subscribe to them terms and conditions, but that's why I'm doing this video. You know what I'm saying? If you may fall under this, and this goes for everybody, people who just getting into astrology and things of that nature. Like because this is what we need to understand. So society changes constantly. So society always is changing. So when we get to a situation where we're comparing signs because of what they do in society, this leads into a path where you can kind of possibly be wrong. And if you are an astrologer who do readings, then this can be where you leave the customer feeling like you're wrong a lot of times. Prime example, you know what I'm saying? You will see a person playing sports all the time. You'd be like, oh, that person's an Aries. You know what I'm saying? That person must be an Aries. You get a person on the phone all the time. Oh, that person must be a Libra. Now, this is not to say that there's not the energy you carry. There's not to say that in society there's not force fields out here that carry your energy that you may be attracted that you just do naturally. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is we need to start understanding this a little more. So you have a person like, oh, this person cook a lot. This person must be a Cancer. You have a person say, oh, this person's an alcoholic. They always take drugs. This person must be a Pisces. And see, and or this person likes to escape and likes to travel and preach and gamble all the time. Oh, this person must be a Sagittarius. Now, see, this is where it can fall short because a lot of the titles we add on to people like preacher or things of that nature or an actionary person is those things in general carry the elements that may share the same kind of elemental energies, but at the same time, this is where we may fall short. Because here's what you need to understand: society always changes. So, and we living in a world right now where we don't know what a motherfucker is capable of. So we need to talk more about the energetic forces and the elements and the spirit of a nature. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's gonna give a lot of astrologers like, damn, then what are we gonna talk about? But that's the area of life you need to step into. That's how you need to start stepping in so you can start understanding. Because listen, as my travels, I've came to understand that it don't matter what sign you is. All signs do everything. All signs have the capability of being on the phone all the time. All signs have the capability of being gamblers. All signs got the capabilities of being alcoholics or drug addicts. So it's not what a sign is doing, it's how they're doing it. You see what I'm saying? And we need to step more in that mechanism so we can rise our consciousness when we out here thinking about astrology or the planets and you're just trying to learn about astrology, or you may be an astrologer that's well versed. We need to rise our consciousness a little higher because at some point we don't need to really be talking about a person's personal life. See, where I'm from and how I look at it is you're really not even supposed to care or even know a person's personal life. Because a lot of things placed in society, a lot of times a person's circumstances and how they do things in these times is that's not even based upon their element and their natal chart. A lot of times they just going through things, resisting energies with their natal charts and thinking that's them because of the circumstances and the location and the people that they was raised up under. So a lot of times the way a person is living and the circumstances and the way they act is not even predicated on their true self, and then they don't even know their true self. You see what I'm saying? So you'll get a person with this certain alignment of natal chart, but since they're in this environment and society and a bunch of different things is placed in that society to do it in this way, that person is have to try their best to utilize their elements to just be comfortable in the situation that they're in. So a lot of actions that they're taking is not even really predicated on. So when you reading somebody's chart and telling them that they should be this and doing this, that, and the third, they may not know what you're talking about because the situation that they're in, they see things this way. And it goes even deep to the point that you could be a sign, but just because you was raised up under parents with two other signs, you raised to do things in ways that's not naturally your own. So this is why we got to take ourselves out of actually, because I know once you say things like damn, because the normal astrologer will be like, well, tell me what's going on or whatever like that, and that gives them legs to run on. But I'm telling you a totality of things. If you truly know the planets, and you truly know, you don't need, because this is what we need to understand. You can do whatever you want to do. There's not a specific alignment to do with it because society, all the things that's placed in society for you to do is accumulated of all the elements. So it doesn't matter what you are. It may be harder for you to do certain things than others, or maybe easier for you to do certain things than others. But the only reason it's like that is because you've been resisting and trying to fit in the whole time. But really, you just need to understand it's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. And how we get into that mechanism is we just purely talk about your energies and the elements you carry out. For an example, if we want to talk about drugs, here's a prime example right here. What we do, we'll say, okay, a person is a alcoholic or druggie, so they must be a Pisces or Scorpio, right? Now, every sign has the capability of being that. It's not what they doing, it's how they doing it. So if you just know how a person is doing that, then that'll tell you what sign they is. So you won't risk being wrong. You won't risk being like, this person always got a bottle, or this person always got some drugs, or something like that. This person always got some pills. This person a pipe. You won't risk being wrong. You won't risk being a person being like, nah, really I'm an Aquarius. Nah, really I'm a Capricorn. You won't risk that because if you just pay attention to how they're doing it, now we can break that down. If you understand astrology, how a Pisces be a drug addict is because it takes them into a realm of illusion, a realm of creativity, a realm of subconscious. They can talk to themselves in that realm because a lot of times they daydream and things of that nature. But when they're able to take a substance, that daydream appears to be more reality, so they feel more comfortable in that realm. So drugs do that. They give you a sense of a high. So a Pisces would like to relate to that a lot. So this is why they may overindulge, because it's almost like going with the flow and relaxing with the flow. Aries, how you would know an Aries is one? Because an Aries may always desire it. It may always intend to do that. So it get aggressive. So it's aggressive with it. So you'll see somebody who aggressively always active on drugs or things of that nature. Or a person who's always trying to, you may even try to see them doing new things with their shit like that, or coming up with new ways of seeing and how to feel about the drug they use. So if you might see an Aries and you might tell them to stop or something like that, you may experience them trying to initiate and create a new way of how to see and feel about the drug that they have. So the Aries will be the ones that you see making a lot of excuses for their drug, or going out all out and about for their shit on their own, or doing it on their own, or not wanting to share. none of their shit. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Wanting to do their shit by themselves, like me. I'll tell you right now, I face a motherfucking blunt all day, every day. You better act, or you never get past it. Now, talk about Geminis. Now, Geminis, you might see them over druggy and shit like that. It takes them into their mind, the way they think. They like to think a lot, so they get to sit back and analyze, and you know what I'm saying, and overthink. That's what they like to do. So if you see a Gemini with a blunt, and they always seem like they scattered off and thinking and making faces and stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying, always look like they getting ready to say something. You know what I'm saying? Just how you know that in they way. You know what I'm saying? They may look at it in a way that they put it in a box in their head, like, okay, the only way I can get to this thought if I go get this drug, like they put things in boxes in their head. You know what I'm saying? So if they're a drug addict, that's how they would go about it. They'd go about it like, all right, man, I need that drug to get to that point in my head again. Because if I sit here and have to think about everything that's keep going around me all the fucking time, that's what, you know what I'm saying? It's different for everybody. But everybody has the capability. You know what I'm saying? A cancer. You know what I'm saying? You may see a motherfucking cancer with a bottle all the fucking time, or a blunt all the fucking time, and you'll probably think that another time. But little do you know, the reason why they probably like that is because that's how they handle their emotions. If they ain't had no bottle or they ain't had no blunt and they sober and they gotta sit here and deal with all these motherfuckers' emotions and all these niggas' vibes and all these motherfuckers' attitudes, shit, they gonna go snap and turn crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then that might be their inside reason of why they always go to what they go to. So, see, this is why we have to stop kind of tying society, because society always changes. Just like right now, you can't tell everybody on their motherfucking phone. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to understand how they're on their phone. You know what I'm saying? Then you can kind of break down like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to see, because it's all about the energies, the energetic forces, and then that lets you know what lead a person to doing what they're actually doing. So when a person, because a lot of times when you do a natal chart too, a lot of people don't even want to tell you their personal life or what's really going on. A lot of times a person just tell you something that they want to see, but they have deep demons or deep things inside them that they don't want nobody to see. So they pretty up the words and pretty up the metaphor for it to seem a certain way. And then an astrologer and explain it in that way. And then the person will receive that answer and be like, I still didn't get my answer. But the person have to realize that you ain't even really give the astrologer the truth. But what I'm telling you is, it ain't really supposed to be like that in general. I don't gotta know your fucking personal. All I need to know is what Mars aligning with what Mars, what house is in, and whatever like that. And then once you hear the energy, you're gonna know what person, place, or thing or location that energy is playing out through yourself. You know what I'm saying? And once you understand that, you're gonna be like, oh, this is why I'm attracting this, or this is why I'm pushing this away, or this is why I'm not seeing this, or this is why. And then that's the real uplifting. That's the real spiritual enlightenment, because at that point you'll start to develop your step. You'll start to develop yourself. Start putting yourself in your own experiences and start seeing if these things is right or wrong. Start playing jump rope. You'll start utilizing certain people, places, and things, and putting it to test to see if it's right or wrong. You'll start detaching your own emotional vibrations when you was going through these things, when you was asking yourself why I'm going through these things, and you'll start wanting to see these things now and setting your own emotions aside and start thinking about it like, all right, let me see. Okay, if I keep doing this, this would happen if I keep, and then you're rising, you start attaching your emotions and feelings to higher things, and to the higher, and then slowly but surely your spirit and soul rises. You know what I'm saying? Other than somebody telling you, oh, okay, you're a Sagittarius, so okay, you must like to escape, you must like to gamble, you have to stop gambling, and you probably thinking in your life like, I don't even gamble. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and then you find yourself having to be like, Well, maybe he or she telling me something I don't know. Oh, I do gamble because when I do that, then you start making up things that you do thinking is gambling and it's really not. And what you really fail to realize is you slowly but surely you're manifesting these things. You see what I'm saying? Because this is another thing about that I want to get into. It's like you have the power to do whatever you want to do. So you actually are the one manifesting and creating. So when you got a bunch of people telling you this is going to happen and this is what you shouldn't do, what happens is when you have that on your mind and go through your actual life, you actually manifest that. Like you manifest that. You see what I'm saying? Like you start to manifest that. For an example, for an example, people are like, all right, I say use me for an example. Now, I look at an astrologer and they say, okay, the Aries, you're aggressive, you're a leader, and but you can be selfish, and you can be hot tempered, and you can be single minded. Now, when I sit back and think about that, I I sometimes it'll be, and people do this with all their signs. It'll be something that they do like and be like, oh, this me? Oh, so I need to do that. And then there'll be certain shit that they don't like and be like, nah, that ain't me. And then they make up reason. Then they find themselves having to make up reasons of why that is them. And then you don't understand that you manifest that. So you got somebody telling you you're aggressive, so you start to be aggressive. You see what I'm saying? You got somebody telling you you shouldn't do this, so you don't do that. And then that's not really your energy. You gotta understand that that's not really what's going on. You gotta understand. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm listen, I'm an Aries sun, Sagittarius moon, Leo rising, Aries Mercury. I hate sports. I hate sports. You know what I'm saying? On all levels. Every astrologer I came across, that was the first thing they said. Oh, you must like sports. You must have played all the sports in school. Listen, I hated school. I, I cannot be around people. No, I can't be around people at all. It's not. It's a clash. Art. I looked at everything like what the fuck am I learning this for? There's so much other shit I'm trying to, and then I'm always in the yin realm. It was like I'm never observing what the fuck is in front of me. I'm always burning through reality. And then when I start to understand my own elements, that let me know why I was like that. Since I'm so much fire, fire likes to detach. Fire doesn't like to be a part of anything. Fire don't like to. Fire has to be seen as separate, and the only way it's going to connect if it can connect to something that's willing to help it spread and shine with it. If not, it's going to flame and go into separateness. Now, see, now when I look at my energy, when I look at sports, I look at sports as a form of team camaraderie. Always having to be around other people. You have to depend on others in some certain type of way. You have to rely on others. You have to come together as a team. You have to share things. These is one of my worst, deepest, fucking scariest nightmares. All that shit is a nightmare to me. You see what I'm saying? So I don't like sports just because sports is dealing with all that shit. Now you're dealing with but when you get to surface level and then you get to compare a person's sign to society, you'll get basic people looking at it like, oh, sports is contact. People hit each other. It involves a lot of energy, a lot of spirit to it, a lot of running around. Oh, so that's a lot of fire energy. So with people who are fire signs must gravitate towards that. So I understand how y'all come to the conclusions, but I'm trying to get y'all to understand we gotta rise higher because you risk the opportunity. I mean, you risk being wrong. See what I'm saying? And once you evolve conscious wise, you run into so many situations and circumstances that's going to make you come to that conclusion anyway. Same way I have, even learning myself. So I had to really, because at a point when I was young, I had to think like, damn, then why don't I like sports? So I found myself manifesting situations of trying to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Trying to play football and shit like that. And that shit just wasn't for me. See what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I understood myself and really got into the actual energies that I came to this conclusion. That, and that was early on, but I'm just saying, talking about this based upon the conversation I just had with someone about astrology and how they was talking about it, how they was coming about it, how they was saying, yeah, I don't like this fucking person, and I never find myself making this person close because they this sign. And all the reasons that they was putting why they won't fuck with that sign was shit that the society was equating to that sign, not who that actual person was. And I was like, damn, this is leading into prejudging, and prejudging can lead in the risk of being wrong. You know what I'm saying? And all that was going in my mind, you know what I'm saying? And it made me be able to set myself aside the universe and then look down and see everybody who just getting into astrology and people who are already well versed in astrology, and I could see how spread out this mistake can be made. It can be made in a heavy tense and it can be made in a light tense, depending on how versed the astrologer is. You see what I'm saying? But all astrologers may still do it to a little degree. And I'm just here to get people to understand that we need to take ourselves out of this physical realm in general and just start talking about a person as they in the astral plane, period. And then when a person come back down from that natal reading, they're able to utilize their energy in this realm effectively and be able to effectively see what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing because of how they was doing it in the first place. You see what I'm saying? And not just thinking that they don't have a talent and this their talent. They can start thinking that, no, I can have any talent I want. It's just the way I'm going about it is wrong. That's what we have to get into. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna shut this video off, man. It's like, oh, this goddamn pain.